Hi, welcome back to Box to Lights. In this film I'm going to show you how to play Shadowscape, a new game from NSKN. It's a 1 to 4 adventure game. It comes in this small box. If we open the box, I mean, it's crazy how much stuff they've been able to fit in this little game box. It certainly looks like you're going to get a lot of value out of this. One thing to mention in this demonstration, although the game comes with these hero tokens, NSKN have also sent me this miniatures pack, which is usable not just with Shadowscape, a new game, but also with earlier games like Mistfall, which I've shown on the channel. So let me get set up and we'll start to learn how this game plays. One thing to note is I'm going to set up and play as per the cooperative rules, but there's also a competitive game for 2+ players, and I'm going to perhaps comment on that a little bit as I show you how the game works. The game is based around a random dungeon set up here in a 5x5 grid, of locations of rooms. The game is going to be driven by these whisper cards. The final whisper card says we must eliminate the Lord of the Dungeon. Now when this whisper card comes up, it is determined kind of a little bit randomly. We're going to shuffle these together. If you're playing competitively, you can only use a limited number of these 2 gem whispers. But playing cooperatively, or solitaire as I am, we're going to use them all. Then all the 1 whispers on top. So we know that that Lord of the Dungeon card is in the bottom there. We've got to navigate this dungeon, defeat the Lord of the Dungeon to win the game. I'm going to create a couple of offers here. I'm going to start with 4 random whisper cards, as well as an offer of 4 equipment cards. I really like the artwork and the graphic design of these cards. Our game is going to be action driven, and on your turn you can be picking up those whispers, those equipment, but you also have a deck of action cards that's going to be deriving what you can and can't do, just like what we saw in Mistfall, the original game I showed you. We've got 13 heroes, and each has a different number of hero-specific action cards, as well as a generic set of action cards. We're going to give these a shuffle. They are double-sided, so kind of do it a little bit blindly if you can. But the side that goes up or down doesn't actually matter. The players choose which action side is face up and which is face down. The important thing is that when you play an action, you flip it, and then you have to use this side and then flip it, and use this side and flip it. So you'll find different ways of using these actions. It kind of means you're not repeating the same actions over and over again, and it adds that strategy element to your hand management. What's important here is that we're creating another offer. Alright, so it's surprising. We have a small box with a large footprint. These are the hero cards. There should be 13 of them. Let's just take a couple randomly just to set up for 2 players. We have Valkyria and Alatha. So let's find the hero cards, the action cards, and we'll put those into play immediately. That's what they can do right from the start of the game. So here's Alatha's cards. You can see each one has a different ability. So this card here has prepare, draw 4 fate cards. This one says regular attack, deal 1 damage to an enemy in the same or adjacent room. So you can choose which side you want to place it. So what I'm going to do is have 1 prepare. We've got a regular attack here. Deal 2 damage to an enemy in the same or adjacent room. So I'll take that one, I think. And then we've got search 2, and then move up to 3 enemies from adjacent rooms into your room, and then deal some damage. So I think we're going to take the search ability to start us off. Well, Kia on the other hand starts with 4 cards. So again, we've got different attacks. This one is regular, deal 2 to an enemy in the same or adjacent. Flip, deal 2 to an enemy in the same. Alright, so we're going to take the more powerful effect. Each hero is going to have a hand of cards, so Valkyria is going to have a hand of 3 cards. That's a maximum hand size. Alatha's is 4, so we're going to draw fate cards to fill their hands. Some more cards for Alatha. And here they are. Remember, we're playing the cooperative game. So we got discard 1 fate card from your hand, take any 1 card from the fate deck, give another player one of your trophy or treasure tokens. Same here. Discard a fate card, right? So those are the effects, but they also provide resources and icons, these cards. Okay, and we'll look at that when we come to gameplay. So for example, this search 2 has this magnifying glass icon. What that says is we can boost this by 1 by discarding fate cards from our hand with the matching symbol. So you can see I might discard this one here, it has that search icon. Discard it, boost that up to a search 3. So for an example here, if I want to do the search, I search for 2, I add this symbol, discarding it, I do search 3, I flip the card, and now this card is available as the next action. And this one's going to be move up to 3 enemies, and then deal. See this icon here? This is the skill icon. These are the skill icons. For every skill icon in your player area, for example this one here, that's 2, then I can deal 2 damage to each enemy in your room. So maybe that's a good start. Start with skill icons face up. Okay. But look out for your fate cards and their versatility. So give each other cards so you can cooperate, move enemies around. Okay, what else was it? Give another player one of your trophy or treasure tokens, and that's important because trophies, defeating enemies, is how you're going to be able to upgrade and buy new actions. Okay, to supplement what's in your player area here and become more versatile at what you do. These are our enemy tokens. They're little, but the artwork's great and they're very functional, well designed. We've got 3 different types. They're going to be randomized. These are our beasts, brigands, and undead. And these are going to be randomly distributed around the map for the start of the game. We're going to put them face up according to these icons. And we're going to do the same for these treasure icons and randomly populate the dungeon with these treasures. And there's also a bunch of enemy cards. There's two flavours of the game, if you like. There's basic and then the advanced. With the basic, you're just using the stats on the enemy tokens, but then with these cards in the advanced game, you're adding some special abilities to those enemies to make things a little bit tougher. We'll put those at the side of the board. And in terms of our Lord of the Dungeon, again, we've got a set of cards. We've got 5 to choose from. Just pick one randomly, take its figure, and here's enemy token. Incidentally, our Lord of the Dungeon has 2 sides, the competitive side or the cooperative side. And now our heroes choose a starting point in the dungeon. They have to be on different starting points. And now we're ready to go. Now remember, our aim is to take down this Dungeon Lord, and we're not going to be able to get him activated until we get through this whisper deck, and that Dungeon Lord activation will make him come onto the board. Every time he activates from then on, he's going to move around the board just like other enemies. I'll show you how that works in a second, and then we get a chance to fight him. So the only way to get through this whisper deck is to keep claiming these whispers. And this is a really neat mechanism, because what it does is it delivers a series of short-term goals for the players with that ultimate end goal always in sight. And to claim these whispers, you've got to satisfy their objectives. Like here it says search for at least 4 in a beast lair. This one says search for at least 4 in an undead lair. Here we got draw cards into an empty hand while preparing in a foresight shrine. Bring a trinket to the foresight shrine. Icons on the map indicate shrines. Okay, this 3 red cards. This is a foresight shrine. This is a healing shrine. In a competitive game, that end goal is different. All right, you're not trying to all defeat that lord together. Instead, you're counting these shadow shrine icons, these purple icons here on whispers that you've claimed. There's also shadow shrine icons on the dungeon if you end the game in a room with a shadow shrine that adds to your total. In the competitive game, that game end is reached when the Dungeon Lord, when any player defeats that Dungeon Lord, and you count up your shadow shrines, that indicates the winner. In the cooperative or the solo game, if you can defeat the Dungeon Lord, then you win the game, and then your fate deck acts as a timer. If this deck runs out, then you all lose the game. Indeed, you can change the difficulty of the game by making this deck a little shorter, discarding 5, 10, 15 cards, giving you less time to defeat that Dungeon Lord. And also, at the end of every turn, a player's drawing from this deck. Okay, you're always forced to draw, so you can't stall and slow down the game. But if you want to make it more difficult, then you draw 2 cards instead of 1 card. Once everything's set up and you're ready to go, the rules of the game are actually pretty simple. Let me show you how a game turn works. The way the game scales is pretty straightforward. Each player is going to have a specific turn sequence. We're going to take the actions phase, then the enemy phase, end our turn, next player takes their go. So you can see that the more players there are, the more player actions that happen, but also the more enemy actions that happen. Okay, during your action phase you can do 2 actions by activating cards in your player area, plus you can perform special actions. You can claim one of those cards at the top, or an alter fate action. So let's have a look at those in detail. A basic player action is to move. You can flip any 1 card in your area to move. Okay, and then your movement is given by this icon here, 1 movement for Valkyria. Movements from room to room. You can see these doorways, and the artwork here is nicely designed to make it look like an open doorway from room to room, like an archway. Now I could potentially move up here to this treasure. These should be face up, so we should be able to see that this is a value 5 treasure. I'm going to need a search 5. I can't generate 5 search, as it's way too expensive right now. I've got only 3 fate cards and only 1 search in there. So this is where you need to draw, collect fate cards and be able to boost up things. I mean, the other way to do it is use your actions. So I have a search 1 here, you see, which I can boost up as it goes. Right, what am I doing? So I'm doing a move just by flipping 1 card. Tilt a card as well. It's exhausted. I can't use this action again until my next turn. So at the moment I've just got move 1, and I'm going to move through here to this next room. As soon as you encounter an enemy, you have to stop. So even if I had got, generated more movement by discarding fate cards, which I'm not going to do, I could move 2 up here perhaps. As soon as you enter a room with an enemy, you have to stop. You could, if you've got another action, remember you've got 2 actions, I've only spent 1, move away again, but that action's spent, this guy's going to interrupt your movement. But what I could do now is my second action is attack. So your general actions are move, attack, search for treasure, prepare, draw more fate cards, heal, this is a healing card here. And then your special actions would normally be to claim, go and claim a whisper, or claim a general action card by spending the trophies or treasure tokens. For example, this one here has a cost of 3, these 3 gold icons, this one has a cost of 2. Okay, so let's try and defeat an enemy with an attack action so that we can get some trophies, try and buy some stuff. The other thing you can do as a special action is you can play one of your fate cards. Okay, remember we're playing the cooperative game. Move an enemy up to 2 spaces. So I could potentially push this enemy away and then search here, grab the treasure. Quite nice, huh? But let's do an attack. Let's attack as our second action and show you how attacking works. There's 2 types of actions. There's a regular physical attack and there's also a magical attack. Here's a magical attack from one of my other heroes. Magic attack has this hand icon, you see. Basically it just means different fate cards will boost them. So we pick an attack card. Let's use this one here. It's a regular attack. It says deal 2 damage to an enemy in the same room. You may move 1 before or after dealing the damage. Okay, so that's good. We can move 1, we can do the damage and then kind of escape the room if we wish. Don't forget this needs to be flipped as we used it, so flipped and tilted. We're going to do 2 damage. The Renegade Flamecaster only has 2 defense, so she only needs 2 damage to eliminate that enemy. We're playing the advanced rules, check the monster card. So here's the Renegade Flamecaster, defense 2. Flaming Bolts. If any wounds are placed in a hero area as a result of this enemy's attack, place 1 additional wound in that hero area. Okay, that doesn't affect us now. So we get to attack him before, or her before, it attacks us back. So let's eliminate that enemy, take the token and place it in our player area as a trophy. That's our 2 actions spent. Remember we can still use our special actions. This trophy is just worth 1 point. There's nothing here that costs just 1. Check to see if there's any whisper cards you can claim. There's nothing here, nothing here. No, nothing we can do here. Equipment costs treasure. We don't have any treasure tokens. You can't use trophies to grab equipment. And also just check if there's anything in your fate that you want to play. Give another player one of your trophy or treasure cards. Well, I could do that, couldn't I? Because there's a chance that... Yeah, because I can't really use it for its magic attack. The movement boost is good. But let's just play this card and give my trophy to the other player, to Alata. So I'll discard, give this trophy over here. So player turn action is really straightforward. I mean, it's a little bit strange that you can exchange stuff, but this is all about raised trophies. They're all about reputation, all right, and rumour and so on. So although we're distant, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of theme lost there, but you know, such is the price of trying to keep the game cooperative. I mean, the idea here is that it's an alter fate. It's kind of that you know, it's down to fate. It's down to luck that this thing's happened. We've been able to you know, bend fate in a non-physical way using our fate cards. That's really the idea. Okay, so that's our action phase concluded. We've taken our 2 actions. Enemy phase now is to draw 1 fate card and activate the enemies. Okay, so let's see. Draw a fate card and see what happens. What we're doing now is we're looking at the bottom and we can see that it's got the brigand icon, the blue brigand icon. Remember, if we were playing the more difficult variant, we'd be drawing 2 here and activating twice. But as it goes, we're activating all the brigands. And this is where we go back to the dungeon, look at all the enemies with the brigand icon. There's one here, yeah, and we're just going to, I mean, the way that you could do it is like this. There's another one here, and turn them back face up once you've finished activating them. If there weren't any brigands on the map, then we'd be spawning them at these points now instead. But let's go ahead and activate these. So the first thing we do is move each one. If there's an player hero in range, you won't move. Now this one's got a range of 0. It's a melee enemy. Here these cross swords show us. So now he's going to move, and this is where we use these icons. You see, we look at the room and we look for a matching door with an icon that matches from left to right. So the first icon is this one, so he's going to head this way. The next is this zaggy line this way, and then the up and down arrows, the 2 facing arrows. He can't go this way, so he's just going to stay here. Let's activate the next one. There's no one in range, so he can't attack. Okay, this is a melee enemy as well. Left to right, this is kind of crossed this way first. And then we got this symbol here, so he's going to come down in here. And finally this one, this is homunculus. He's going to follow the double arrows and then this wiggly line. So the double arrows takes him off the board, and then the wiggly line back up here. Also a melee enemy. If this one is activated, this Bone Sorrow Archer, he moves this way, then this way, and he has a ranged attack, has a range of 3, so it would attack this hero now. And you have to look at his stats. He's got an attack of 3. Remember, this was his defense, this is his attack of 3. And he would be attacking Valkyria, and what would happen then is that we would use our hero's defense to soak up 2 of that 3, 2 damage here, you see? And that would mean 1 would get through. And with 1 getting through, let's move him back, we'd take a wound token and we would wound one of our player abilities. And for as long, that's how we do damage, right? So these cards in our player act as our health as well as anything else. And these then become deactivated. We can't use them because they're wounded, alright? And that's it. Once we've finished our turn, we can unexhaust these cards. We're ready for our next time, and then play moves to Alata. We'll just finish up by showing you Alata's actions, and then we'll go from there. So for example, Alata might say, what's her special? Tricks and traps. You may perform a regular attack after an enemy enters your room. Okay, we're not going to do that. But let's say we do something like this. Now, I would have liked a search action. Let's say she kept a search. Where's the search? Here it is, search 2. Okay. So let's say she uses a move 2. Discard this one to give move 3. 1, 2, 3. And we can do a search action. So we'll do this one, search 2, flip, add 1 card, search 4, see the icon, search icon, take this treasure, that's our second action. Then we can claim, we got two trophies here. Now we could say claim one of these general actions, regular attack 2, deal 2 damage, or draw 2 fate cards for prepare, and this one's got a heal 2 wounds, and a search 1, or, and add those to our player area, or we could spend our 1 treasure, buy one of these. We can't take this blade, we're a rogue, so this one says may not be used by rogues or wizards. I quite like the idea of Scroll of Wisdom, draw 2 fate cards, if you have 3 or more, discard 2. It comes with a victory point as well, so playing competitively this one helps you, but it may potentially, you know, if you get stuck with a hand of fate cards you don't want, this could really help boost you up. As it goes, I think I'm going to turn these in and go for one of these 2 cards. Search 1. Yeah, I'm going to take this one. Prepare, draw 2 fate cards, or deal 2 damage to an enemy in the same room. Let's take that one. Put that in my player area. Now, as it goes, I should have used one of these, shouldn't I, for its to move. Yeah, let's use this one. Okay, so that's my 2 actions. Now I activate the enemy. We don't want to activate these because if we do, then we're in trouble. Notice brigands again. Okay, and that's how the game's going to play. So that's Shadowscape. I really like it. The artwork's fantastic, the production quality is really good, the rules are simple, streamlined, very quick to play, very fluid, and the action cards and fate cards give you lots of depth, allowing you to create strategies and develop your characters as you play through the dungeon. Look out for it. A great little addition to any collection. Thanks for watching. See you next time.